Hi, welcome back to Sunday Nights with Faye Seidler. We're back. We're doing another show. It's fun, right? Yeah? Tell your friends. Tell all of them. Like, subscribe. The first story we have tonight is going to be the Queer Holiday Art page. You can go there to find local queer artists who you can buy things for the holidays and give special gifts to the people that you know in your life. These artists probably also sell things outside of the holidays, so if you want to get a gift for a birthday or special occasion, you can. If you're decorating an office and you're like, I don't know what to do, you should buy art from queer people and put it on your walls because that's a good thing to do. It's morally good. It's ethically good. Do it. Speaking of queer things, I also want to let you know that the Pride Collective calendar is up, so if you want to get an idea of the different events that are going on, you can check that out right now. Also, Parachigo, a place that has a lot of queer artists there, has their own calendar, and you can check out their events there. There are events happening all across our state in different venues and communities. Connect with people and feel less alone, especially in the cold months of December. So share them out, check them out, and celebrate. Speaking of events, in particular, as opposed to in general, Merry Christmas Carol by M. Christie is coming up. That is a play that will be at the Yamkamp Center. I'll keep in my mispronunciation so everyone feels humble. At December 10th at 7 p.m., so Wednesday. This is something that will also be at-will donations for Not a Loaf, and it is something that is presented by the Pride Collective and Community Center. So it is a cool play, it's doing cool stuff, and it's written by a cool queer playwright. So check it out. Gosh, I have nothing but queer events. That's not even like, I don't plan that. I just see the cool events and share them with you. Turns out, right now, queer people rocking it, doing amazing, always. The next event I have for you is going to be the Fargo-Moorhead Gaming Chorus's Peace on Earth. That's going to be December 13th at 4 p.m. It's always an incredible ensemble of talented folks that are going to be able to, I believe, achieve peace on Earth. I think that's the point of that concert. I think that that's what will be achieved at the end of it. I can't say for sure, and you won't know either unless you go. And you should, and tell your friends. This could be it. Then take a selfie. Hashtag World Peace happened. So that's occurring at the Journey Lutheran Church, and that's December 13th. Check it out. Share it. Tell friends about all of this all of the time. Tell all your friends. Make new friends so you can tell them. Finally, news that's not specifically for queer people. Shocks. We have the North Dakota Association of Nonprofit Organizations. This is a group of collective of all of our nonprofits across the state, or at least it is a friendly organization to people who are nonprofits. Why am I talking about them? I'm glad you asked, hypothetically, because they have a conference coming up summer of next year, and they're currently taking submissions for people who would like to present. It is in Minot, but if you have something you'd like to say to nonprofits, if you think you do something that could be useful for them, please attend. In exciting news for people who work in education, the North Dakota United Foundation Scholarship and Grant Opportunities are or will be opening. I believe that these are rolling opportunities. So I just have a story saying that you can check them out. It looks like there's a lot of different opportunities. This is kind of very particular educational grants that aren't something that I use. So if you work in education, if you are, aligned with ND United and know their work, this is just kind of a reminder to you to, hey, check it out. And if you don't benefit from any kind of scholarship or grants, and you probably know someone in education who can benefit from this, so share it with them. Be like, hey, teach, what's up? I got a grant for you. Say it exactly like that. Teachers love it. It's like no cap, 67 awesome. We can finally get away from those non-queer stories that everyone hated. I don't even know why I talked about them. But going into a new queer story, we have the Out Community Survey. This is a survey being put on, I think, by a couple organizations. The LG Plus Cancer Network has been the big one that I've kind of talked to, but this is going to be a national survey of community health and wellness for queer people. It's important because North Dakota no longer collects any data on queer population, so we can't see how much they're suffering under current administration guidelines, as well as federal and state directions. So I really recommend people take this survey. You can find it on my website. I've shared it across social media. I shared it as part of my work with Harbor Health Initiative. If you know queer folks that are willing to, the more data we get from North Dakota, this could be the only data we get. So please share this out. To cover two stories at once, I want you to know that Senator Kramer put out information saying that they support the Trump administration's repealing of Biden-era minimum staffing guidelines for long-term care facilities. They are presenting this as a win because of, I'm sure, reasons that aren't monstrous. We needed these policies to assure there was more than minimum staffing with long-term care facilities. There have been brutal and horrific conditions that elders have had to live in because a single nurse is covering 20 to 40 patients and they can't. This would have hurt North Dakota because North Dakota was at a very minimum for staffing, not to the benefit of anyone except for the cost of our state. So these policies of Biden might have hurt our state in the sense that it would have made us have to spend more money to take care of people in long-term care facilities. It's not a win. Like, we need to take care of our folks in these facilities a lot more by a lot of evidence that's both anecdotal, that's personal, that's anyone you can talk to, that's like, it's bad to think this is good, Senator Kramer. So boo you on that. Please change your name to be spelled with a K. It would help everyone. End of story. In other bad news, the CDC Vaccine Committee overturned decade-old hepatitis B recommendations for newborns. I am not a vaccine expert. I am not a doctor that researches that kind of things. The ones who do and spent their career doing it and aren't political influencers and tend to love people and them being alive, especially babies, are telling folks that maybe they should continue to have hepatitis B vaccinations. I can't give medical advice, but I would caution you to maybe follow the, I don't know, American Academy of Pediatricians on these guidelines. I think that's a safe recommendation. They seem to be the ones that do this work and care. So this is a news story. I can just say without giving medical recommendations that in good news, North Dakota is looking to have 100% broadband internet access across our state. This makes our state a very lucrative place for remote work, which is good because a lot of times our state is shut down because we get blizzards that are 2-3 feet and it's scary. Access to internet in a lot of ways is kind of a human right at this point because of how much it impacts your life when you don't have it. Even if you are someone who is like, if you're someone who's struggling, oftentimes going to websites is where you apply to resources these days. So it is something that is essential for everyone to have. So this is a cool story. I think our state is a particular one that benefits from rural broadband infrastructure, and it seems like we're doing good work on that. So go us. I want to share a ministry on the margins, volunteer opportunities, both for them and just to kind of remind you that there are opportunities to volunteer at places all across the state. I assure you there's probably something that you care about, and there's probably an organization you can volunteer to work on things you care about. That could be individuals that fall through the cracks, that could be those experiencing homelessness or substance abuse, that could be food inequity. There are so many ways for us to get involved and help each other out. So I really recommend, if you feel like you are kind of isolated, if you feel kind of hopeless, these big feelings, volunteering is a way to help with those. Volunteering often connects you to people. It connects you to something that feels meaningful, and I recommend it for folks for those reasons. I have a story about a NDANO public library with all the wonderful events they have during the holiday. I don't want to just highlight them, but I want to highlight libraries in general because they remain places that have just a tremendous amount of community activities, support for people in the community, things to celebrate. So I really recommend checking out local library, promote it, tell your friends about it, keep on telling your friends, make friends, tell them. It's good. Libraries are fantastic. A New York Times article looked at the individuals that were detained by ICE and found that a very, very few, like 2 to 5%, had any sort of criminality. Of all the communities that ICE has gone into, that has disrupted, that has sowed violence and destabilized them in some capacity, most of these individuals that are being detained or even deported have nothing on their record for criminality. What this report suggests is a lot of immigrants or new Americans were likely just profiled and arrested en masse without any consideration for criminality. I want to highlight the Peer Support Alliance of North Dakota because that's a really cool organization. I think that peer support is incredible. I think it's been a needed component of therapy, mental health support that really connects people to mentors and peers that can walk them through this care with personal experience. Peer support navigators typically are not therapists, they're not trained in that regard, but they are there to be, I get what you're going through. And I think a lot of folks in the mental health journey, that's what they need. Like, therapy is so good for the tools that you need to rely on and process emotions, but to actually have hope that you can be better, to actually feel supported and not alone. Well, if you don't relate to your therapist, if they haven't had your personal experiences, sometimes that message really doesn't land. I think peer support's amazing. I think the work peer support specialists do is incredible. It's a lot of the work I tend to do, if in a more informal way. So I love this organization. I love the work that North Dakota has done to really bring peer support navigation into our holistic care model. A story last week talked about downtown Fargo apartment vacancy rate being 3 times higher than the metro area. And I think anyone who lives, works, or just goes downtown Fargo can see this. There are vacancy signs everywhere. Most of the businesses aren't operational. A lot of businesses have been pushed out of the downtown area, especially after the RDO building was put up, and it's just getting worse and worse. I think everyone in this area sees the need for extremely affordable housing and apartments in downtown Fargo. And if we had that, there'd be more people, often younger people with more disposable income, that would make those businesses there actually work continually. So it looks like a lot of people have been basically priced out of downtown Fargo, and that's spiraling out of control at this point. It is worth noting that the Fargo City Hall did deny tax relief for an organization that was attempting to build quote-unquote affordable housing with prices that made everyone that lived locally raise their eyes and go, like, how is that affordable? What? So I don't know what's happening, but I think people recognize it's a serious problem and are going to do something about it. That's all my stories for you tonight. If you like the work I do, you can always support me on Patreon. I also post every month on my Patreon the stuff that I do. It's not just the show. This show is a tiny bit about what I do. But you can check out all the different activism I do, all the different news and connecting I do. And I'm not paid for what I do. Most of the work I do is as a volunteer advocate and will be for my life. However, contributions from my Patreon allow me some stability to continue to be able to do this work in activism and de-siloing, because there's not any funding for this kind of work. Funding very much forces competition between all the people trying to help each other, because it encourages siloing. It encourages everyone to have to prioritize and take care of themselves. And my work is, let's all help each other out. And it's hard work for some reason in the state. But yeah, you don't ever have to. And I appreciate folks who watch the show. If you can share it, please do. If you support my work, you can. Otherwise, stay warm out there.